Hey, I'm Denis, welcome back to my channel DMaker. Today's video is about how to make this kind of dressing room or makeup mirror with lights all around. This all came up because my daughter asked me if I could make something like this. Of course, this was a request, I just couldn't say no. And let me tell you that the build was quite fun and the result looks great. Let's jump into the video and I'll show you how I made it. To make the frame, I start by cutting 45-degree miters in a board of pine with 7 cm wide and 15 mm thick. I mark the cuts on the left side of the blade so that I can later match with the ones on the right side of the blade. This way, I can assure that the whole frame has perfectly 90-degree angles. I test the angles of the frame with a square and everything is perfectly square. Now, using a band clamp, I assemble the frame temporarily so that I can mark the recess for the mirror. I make sure that the distance is the same in each border using a caliper. After marking the recess with a pencil, I measure the exact distance with the caliper so that I can adjust the router accordingly. Using a straight bit on my improvised router table, I make the recesses on each piece of the frame. The cuts are quite good, but I'll remove some chips with sandpaper by hand. Now it's time to assemble the frame, and I'll start by connecting two of the corners with glue and reinforce them with a couple of staples on the inside. Then I connect the other two corners the same way and apply pressure with the band clamp. Since this is an end grain glue up, I let the glue dry overnight to make sure the bond was strong. In order to make the box that will fit behind the frame, I decided to use my homemade table saw and crosscut sled because my miter saw is not accurate enough to make these types of cuts. If you want to see how I made the crosscut sled, please check out the video on the link above. After cutting all the miters, it's time to assemble the box. For this I used glue and a couple of brad nails to reinforce the joint. Before letting the glue dry, I decided to connect the box to the frame using glue and a lot of clamps. And now I understand why every woodworker says that clamps are never enough. After the glue is dried, I remove the excess using a scraper. This tool is a very useful tool and you can find a link for it in the description box below. I mark the center of the frame and each point where I'll have to make a hole for the light bulbs. The lamp sockets I will use have a diameter of around 27 mm and the closest Forstner's bit I have is 26 mm, so I guess I'll have to use this one. And as I imagined, the hole was a bit too narrow, so I had to use the spindle sander to widen the hole a little bit. Now it fits, and even though it's still a bit hard to get it in, I prefer to leave it this way so that I don't have to use any type of glue to fix it in place. This is the result after all the drilling. I guess I'll have to figure out a way to have the vacuum hose attached to my drill driver. To turn on and off the light, I will use a simple switch mounted to the side of the box, and for that I mark the position of the switch. And then I drilled a hole with a drill bit and square it using some chisels, which by the way need a little sharpening. It's time to sand everything using the orbital sander with 80 and 120 grit. After all the sanding, I applied a coat of primer. And then 2 coats of white lacquer with some hand sanding in between using 240 grit sandpaper. Now it's time to do the electrical part, and for that I use electrical wire, lamp sockets, a switch and 2 pieces of heat shrink sleeve for insulation. Caution must be taken while doing the electrical parts, and each country has its own regulations, so my recommendation is that you ask a certified electrician for advice. I connected all the lamp sockets in parallel so that whenever a lamp is damaged, the others remain on, allowing us to find which one is damaged. All the sockets were precisely adjusted so that there is only a slight gap between the frame and the lamp. Finally, I set the mirror in place and used hot glue to fix it to the frame. In order to be able to hang the mirror in the wall, I drilled 2 holes to insert some hooks. So, my daughter is very happy with her new mirror, where she can now prepare herself for her own YouTube videos and vlogs. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you want to make something like this, you can find the tools and materials I've used in the description box below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to get all the notifications for future videos. Thanks for watching, and remember, you can build it.